Om Ajnanatirmirandasya Jnananjanan Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha Narayanam Gurum Vande Saranyam Bhakta Bandhavam Gauramanubhishtam Purnam Radhadasyam Pradayakam Tirpanugacharya Varyam Rupamanjari Prishtakam Patita Pavana Karuniyam Yugacharya Narayanam Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyaevacha Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Tuise Namaha Shama Sundara Shikanda Shekara Ismera Hasra Murali Manohara Radhikara Shikamam Kripanide Swapriya Charana Kinkarim Kuru Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriya Vrindai Tulasi Devyai Priyai Keshavascha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavatyai Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ramo Ramo Hare Hare. So first of all, I begin offering my most humble obeisances to the dust of the lotus feet of Paramaradhatama Shri Guru Pada Padma Nitalila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pada Paramahamsa Paribrajacharya Ashtotara Satasi Srimad Shila Bhakti Vedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj Shila Gurudeva. And to my most worshipable Shikshan Sannyasa Guru Nitalila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pada Paramahamsa Paribrajacharya Ashtotara Satasi Srimad Shila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj. And to all Shirupanu Gauriya Guru Varga, to all Tridandi Sannyasis, Brahmacharis, Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis, and to all the assembled devotees here today, my most respectful obeisances. So by the causeless mercy of Srila Gurudeva and all Mahabhagavatas Acharyas, we are able to assemble here one more time. So today we are beginning with the chapter 15, Purushottama Yoga. Yoga through understanding the Supreme Person. Purushottama means the Supreme Person. Purusha means the male person. Uttama means the Supreme. So, and basically in this chapter, Krishna is going to declare that he is that Purushottama, that he is the Supreme Lord, and those who worship him will attain the highest destination. This is the essence of this chapter. So first shloka, Sri Bhagavan said, the scriptures describe this material world as a special type of imperishable Ashwatha tree, with roots that grow upwards and branches that grow down, the leaves of which are the Vedic hymns that eulogize the path of fruitive action, karma kanda. He who knows this tree knows the essence of the Vedas. So what is that image? You have a big tree on the bank of a lake. The reflection of this tree on the surface of the water makes it look upside down, right? So the roots are up and the branches are down. So that reflection is the material world. The nature of the material world is the opposite of the original nature of the spiritual world, which is the tree in its original position. Okay, so that's the comparison Krishna is making here. And then Krishna says that if you understand the nature of the material world to be like the what to say, perverted reflection of the original supreme world, transcendental world, then you know the essence of the Vedas. In the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur, Sarartha Varshini, he says, this 15th chapter describes how Shri Krishna cuts on one's bondage to material existence. He is completely detached from it. It describes how the living entity is a part, Amsha, of Ishvara, and that Krishna alone is the Purusha, who is beyond both fallible and infallible entities. So, in the middle of the chapter, Krishna will also speak about Jiva Tattva. He will describe the nature also of the living entities. The previous chapter stated, those who worship me with one-pointed bhakti transcends the modes of material nature and become qualified to experience Brahma or transcendence. This was Gita 14:26. You remember last chapter we discussed about transcending the three modes of material nature. Traiguna. Yoga. So then one may ask, but you have a human form. So how will one attain a spiritual nature by worshipping you through Bhakti Yoga? Someone may ask Krishna. In response, Sri Bhagavan said, in reality, I am indeed a human being, but I am also the supreme shelter and support of that Brahman. So Krishna answers by saying, yes, I am playing like humans. I'm also like a human being. But I'm also the origin of Brahman, means I am also the Supreme Lord. So by seeing me as a human being will not prevent you from developing bhakti from me, bhakti for me. Okay? Then we go to the chapter 2, verse 2. The leaves on the branches of this tree of the material world in the form of various sense objects are nurtured by the three modes of nature. Its branches spread to the lower species of life, such as human beings and animals, as well as to the higher species, such as the demigods. The roots of this tree are the desires for sense enjoyment. They bind one to the flow of actions and the reactions of action and increasingly spread downwards. So Krishna is describing the nature of the tree. The roots are the material desires. So they are actually grounding us and taking nourishment from the enjoyment, from the material world. And then in all the branches, you have many different types of living entities, from the lowest to the highest, up to the demigods. Everyone is enjoying. So that is the message here. Everyone is enjoying. No matter which type of living entity, everyone is enjoying through their senses. Even the demigods or the human beings, the animals, insects, vegetables, everyone is enjoying somehow. Okay? Then verse 3 and 4. The actual form of this tree of material existence, as described above, is not perceivable within the world, for its beginning and existence cannot be ascertained here. Therefore, after resolutely cutting down this deeply rooted tree of material existence with the sharp axe of intense detachment, one should search out the lotus feet of that primeval person, Sri Bhagavan, who is the root of this tree. Once one takes shelter of him, from whom the cycle of birth and death expands, one never returns to this material world with the heartfelt feeling that I fully surrender unto the primeval person. One should take full shelter of him. Okay, so here you may think, oh, maybe there is a contradiction In previous verse, he says that the roots of the tree are the senses. And now he says that the root of the tree is Krishna, is the transcendental tree, because these are different types of the word, use of the word root. Okay, the actual root, in the sense that what is the cause of that upside down tree, that is Bhagavan himself. That is the original tree. Okay, so we must understand that. We must understand that the material world and the life we live and the sense gratification, everything that's meaningless, and there must be something behind that is eternal, unperishable, full of bliss, full of knowledge. So, and that is the nature of the Supreme Person. So we have to surrender to that Supreme Person and take full shelter of him. This is the message of this 3 and 4th verse. Then verse number 5. Only liberated personalities who are free from pride and delusion, who have overcome the degradation of false attachment, who are engaged in searching for Paramatma, and who are free from sensual hankerings and from the dualities of happiness and distress, attain that unchangeable eternal abode. So now Krishna, he puts the condition. Okay, you want to search for God? Okay, need some qualification. What are these qualifications? Free from pride and delusion, overcome the false attachment to the material things, sense objects, also sensual hankerings, lust in general, and from the duality of happiness and distress, means being affected when you have happiness or distress. And so many times it's Krishna mentions in so many shlokas that we have to become equipoised, not this samatvam, not being affected by happiness or distress. They are part of life. They will come and go. Doesn't matter if you want or not. They will come. Even happiness will come either you want it or not. So Gurudev always used to say, don't look for happiness or distress. They will come as part of your karma naturally. Just focus on your spiritual life. If you become too attached to happiness and distress, then you always suffer. Even in happiness, you suffer. Because this is so-called happiness. Nah? When you are in happiness, you are suffering because you might lose it at any time. So that creates anxiety. So you are suffering. So the only stable condition is when you are deeply rooted in your spiritual practice, in your bhakti. Then there is no anxiety. This is like Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha means the place where there is no anxiety. If you want to live in Vaikuntha, you live in Krishna consciousness. Vaikuntha is manifesting here to you. No anxiety. Then verse number 6. Also very famous verse. Natad bhasyayate suryo nashashanko nabhavakaha yad gatva nanivartante taddhamma paramam mama. In that supreme self-effulgent realm, sun, moon, and fire are not required for illumination. When surrendered persons attain that abode of mind, they do not return to this world. Very famous verse, Krishna says, Taddhamma paramam mama. Once you attain my transcendental abode, you never return from there. This is one of the evidences that we can say and show when someone will try to claim that we fell from Vaikuntha. We fell from the spiritual world. Yeah. There was an ISKCON GVC's resolution for that. Showing and saying they decided, that was not Srila Swami Prabhupada, that was later. after his departure. They decided that, okay, we must now preach that Jivas fell from Vaikuntha. Somehow, it's not being approved by the scriptures itself. So in this verse, two informations are interesting. First one is that if you go to Krishna's abode, you never return. Second is that abode is self-effulgent. There is no need for any external light. No fire, no sun, no moon. Nevertheless, the sun is there, moon is there, but just as part of this scenario, in the sense that Krishna is, having the whole, of course, the whole, the whole nature, manifested, trees, plants, rivers, mountains, stars, sun and moon, of course, but they are not the cause of illumination of that place. This is also said in the Kathopanishad. Here in the commentary, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he quotes one verse from Kathopanishad, in which he says, what we speak of fire, not even the effulgence of the sun, the light of the moon and stars, and the splendor of lightning exist there. Everything is illuminated by his effulgence only. Then the verse number 7, also very famous verse. Mamevangsho jivaloke jivabhuta sanatana manasastanindriyani prakristani karshati. This is a good verse also to memorize, So what Krishna is saying, the eternal living entities in this material world are certainly my separated parts and parcels, Vivinansha, situated in the material nature. They are attracted by the 6 senses, including the mind. So jivas are Vibhinansha. There are 2 types of amshas. There are 2 types of amshas. Amsha means expansions of Krishna. 2 types. In Varaha Purana, it says that one type is called Swamsha. Means this is Krishna's personal expansions. Like when he expands himself as Narayana, as Lord Nrsimhadev, Vamana, Varaha, they are called Swamshas. Swa Amsha, Krishna's own expansions. Okay? And then we have the Vibhinamsha. Vibhinamsha means the separated expansions. Like the jivas in the material world, they are called Vibhinamsha. They are part and parcel, as Srila Swami Prabhupada used to say. Part and parcel. Gurudeva, he also liked very much the way Srila Prabhupada presented that, because it's not in the Vedas. Now we have to translate to English. So, and Srila Swami Prabhupada, one of his great contributions was also some expressions that he created that was very much like clarifying about the Sanskrit words. For example, Ladini Shakti. Srila Prabhupada gave the name the pleasure-giving potency. So like that. He was always like this part and parcel. So Gurudev liked that very much. So 2 types of jivas. In this case, Krishna is mentioning the verse about the Bada jivas. We have Mukta jivas, like Nitya Muktas. Those were always liberated. Those were Krishna's eternal associates. They are called Nitya Mukta jivas. Eternally liberated entities. And then we have the Bada jiva. Bada jiva means the conditioned soul, the conditioned entity. Bada means that he is being bound. Okay? He is under the bondage. There is a very long purport of Srila Gurudev. He argues, he shows about also he brings up the discussions of the Mayavadis. The Mayavadis want to say that we are Brahma, but Krishna directly says that you are not Brahma, you are not Krishna, you are not Bhagavan, you are Vibhinamsha. You are part and parcel. You have the same qualities, but not the same potency, the same quantity of Krishna. All right. Then we move forward to the verse 11. Verse 11 says, endeavoring yogis can see this soul, which is situated within the body. But those whose hearts are impure and who are bereft of discrimination cannot see the soul, even though striving to do so. So even though we know we are a soul, we cannot see it. Only when we become qualified, self-realized, then you'll be capable to see and understand that the soul is there. Verse 12. Know the splendor of the sun, which illuminates the entire universe, as well as the splendor of the moon and fire to be mine. So in the commentary, Krishna says, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, in the name of Krishna, he says, it is I, in the form of the sun, moon, and so forth, who delivers whatever the jiva needs indeed in his bound state. So why is that? Because the moon, the light of the moon, it's like a nectar. And that gives actually life to the vegetables in this world. The vegetables, they get power from the moon rays. So Krishna, he puts nourishment in the plants as well as in the sun when they do how to say in English this photosynthesis. I don't know if this is the same name. Photosynthesis, right? Yeah. So this is Krishnadas area, at least that he must know. So, but that power, this is coming from Krishna. Krishna declares that the splendor of the sun, which illuminates the entire universe, and also the moon and the fire, they are actually my own splendor, my own power. In this way, Krishna, he is actually nourishing the whole world. Then verse 13. By infusing the earth with my potency, I alone sustain all moving and non-moving living beings. I nourish all medicinal herbs by becoming the moon, the embodiment of nectar. So Krishna, he is actually manifesting his power through the nature. So then someone can ask, okay, what is the problem if I worship the moon, if I worship the sun, if I worship all the natural elements? They are actually the manifestation of God's energy. So why I cannot? Why is it wrong to worship all these things? Yeah. So the problem is that when you worship all these things, you fail to worship the real cause behind all these things. So if you worship only one thing, that is the cause of everything, everything else is also automatically being worshipped. That is what Krishna says. When you worship me, automatically all the demigods, they are pleased, because they are actually my expansions. And what is the problem if you will worship each and every demigod? First of all, that's too much. No? We have 33 demigods expanded in 1 million form, 33 million demigods. How can you worship all of them? Impossible. And secondly, the tendency is to become bewildered by material, desires, because they want to fulfill your material desires, these demigods. Now, although Krishna is acting through them and giving power, they don't know that. That's the point. They are not aware of this fact. And that creates a problem. That creates a confusion. So if you are worshipping them, they will not be able to give you Krishna. And if you do not worship Krishna, you won't get Krishna. You won't get God by worshiping demigods. You cannot do that. Therefore, when people say that Sanatana Dharma is a polytheistic religion, no. We are a monotheistic, polymorphic religion. Understand? Monotheistic, polymorphic. Polymorphic means many forms. Means God is one. Advaya Paratattva Jnana. God is only one. God cannot be two. But he expressed himself in so many forms. Therefore, so many gods. Even like real manifestations of God, like all the Vaikuntha avatars, all of them, they are also God. So it looks like there are many gods. No, God is only one. But he's so complex that he's expressing himself in so many different ways. So people, they fail to understand Sanatana Dharma. Yes, did you want to say something?
Yes, Maharaji, I want to ask something. Right now, you just said that these Devi Devtas, they don't know that Krishna is only giving them power to bless
Yeah.
others in indirect form. But then how can we say that that earlier, like, we used to worship Lord Shiva, and we always say this, that when we worship Lord Shiva or Hanumanji, so they take us to their own worshipable Lord. That is because Shiv hai wo Param Vaishnav hai, and they will take us directly to Lord Krishna. And how can we say that?
Because they are not demigods. They are Hanumanji is Parikar, and Shiv, he is also Vishnu Tattva. He's also one.
Okay, so they are not called demigods. They
No.
are, but when it is said Mahadev, it is not demigod.
Krishna is also Deva.
Okay.
He's also
Krishna
called
Dev
Deva.
Bhavantam
Yes,
Vande.
he's also called Deva. Yeah. You see, Lord Shiva, he has one aspect, one expansion as demigod when he's Rudra. As Rudra, he is demigod. But as Sadashiv, he is Vishnu Tattva, as well as he's also Vaishnava Tattva. So we must worship Vaishnavas. Hanumanji is Vaishnava. So Hari Gun and Vaishnavas, this is like the same type of worship. They're not included as demigods, right? In this way, there is no any problem. Okay, next one, verse 15, also very famous verse. Sarvasya chaham ridhi sanivishto matha smriti jnanam apohanam cha vedesha sarvairaham eva vidyo vedanta krit veda vid eva chaham. I am situated as the indwelling super soul in the hearts of all living entities. From me come remembrance, knowledge, and the destruction of both. By all the Vedas, I alone am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta and the knower of the Vedas. Very beautiful verse. Krishna says, Vedesha sarviraham eva vidyo. Vedanta krit veda vid eva chaham. I am alone to be known by the Vedas. I am the compiler of Vedanta and I am the knower of the Vedas. Means all knowledge comes from Krishna. Krishna himself is the object of that knowledge. He's the subject of that knowledge. Subject and object of the knowledge. And the only one that knows about that knowledge fully. Very beautiful. Then we're going to jump to the verse 19. O descendant of Bharat, one who is not deluded and who knows me to be Purushottama, the Supreme Person, knows everything and engages wholeheartedly in worship of me. So we must know that Krishna is Purushottama. Krishna is Purushottama. He's a Supreme Personality of Godhead. As Srila Prabhupada also described very, very nicely, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is called Purushottama. Those who knows about it, they know everything. And they will always wholeheartedly worship Krishna. Then last one is verse 20. O sinless descendant of Bharat, I have hereby revealed the most confidential secret of the Vedic scriptures, understanding which intelligent persons can become even more blessed. So Krishna says, Iti guhyattamam shastram vidam uktam mayanagha. This is called guhyattama. Guhyattama means the most confidential knowledge. Remember, Gita is divided into 3 types of knowledge, right? Guhya, Guhyatar, and Guhyattama. Confidential, more confidential, and most confidential knowledge. So, what is the most confidential knowledge? Oh, Krishna is that Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this is the most confidential secret of the Vedic scriptures. Then you may ask, but why Krishna makes his own, the information about himself to be like, something confidential, something secret that should be known to all. Yes, but Krishna, he is not so easy to be attained. He's not so easy. As someone very, very important is not easily accessible. Krishna is the most important person. That's why when Vyasadeva was writing all the Vedas and Upanishads and everything, he hardly mentioned the name of Krishna. He hardly described Krishna as God. That is Krishna's desire. Otherwise, why he would do like so? If Krishna wanted, Krishna would begin the Vedas by saying, I am God. Why he didn't start the Vedas by saying, I am God? That would be much simpler, right? But no, actually, for us, it looks like, okay, maybe obvious, but Krishna is dealing with the ignorance of the people. Krishna is not dealing with the enlightened ones. He's dealing with ignorant people. And he creates obstacles to him that will actually, first of all, test the people. That will create also more attraction and also more value. The more difficult it is for you to access something, like higher is the price that thing will get, right? Like gold, emeralds, diamonds, Bitcoin. More difficult to get, the higher is the price, right? And once you get it, you don't want to lose it at any cost. So in the same way, Krishna, he must give value to himself. Otherwise, who will give? Otherwise, who will give? He's the one who is creating and manifesting everything. So he should put, limits to him. And he will present himself very easily in the form of demigods, in the form of all sorts of, understandings of God that other religions may bring. But he says, this is the most confidential secret of the Vedic scriptures. Means it's the most confidential secrets of the whole world, of all knowledges. And if we have come to this information, if Krishna has given us this opportunity now, we have to consider ourselves to be very, very fortunate. So as the end of this verse, Krishna says, by that which the intelligent persons can become even more blessed. So you are already very blessed to be intelligent and to come to this knowledge. And if you realize what Krishna is saying, then you become even more blessed. So it means many, many lifetimes, many millions of lifetimes, endeavoring and searching and, coming. Finally, you have opportunity to come to this knowledge, come to bhakti, come to Sanatana Dharma, come to the Bhagavad-gita, to hear the words of God himself, but not of the hidden God, the God who revealed himself, the God who came himself to save us and to enlighten us and to what to say, entertain us as well, spiritual entertainment with his pastimes, and fulfilling our heart only by his presence. So he is difficult, but he's not impossible. And he's not incognito. He's not, absent. No, he's there. Therefore, if you are not getting, you should look to yourself. Why I'm not getting God? Why he's not revealing himself to me? There must be some problem with me. I must not be deserving that. So in the moment you deserve, then you manifest. If Krishna is not giving you darshan, means he's happy for doing that. And if he's happy, you should also be happy. Because no one forces him of doing anything. So if he's not giving darshan to you, you should be happy with that, because he's also happy by not giving you darshan. So we should accept and understand that our time will come, and gradually, by and by, gradually by. Okay, so this is the end of this chapter.